It was on the 24th of February that Russia declared the war against Ukraine, claiming it was protecting its territories. And now, even after 6 months of aggression, there seems to be no end to the conflict. And in the conflict lies dark truth of Russian occupation in Kherson.
Only major Ukrainian city captured intact by the Russian military since its full-blown invasion of Ukraine on February 24th, and the only territory occupied by Russia west of the Dnipro River. The creep of Russian control has grown stronger even as Ukrainian forces plan a military offensive to free the once prosperous city of 300,000 people. Ukraine recently bombed 2 of the 3 bridges connecting the city to Russian possessions east of the river. Kherson's journey from a regional capital known for shipbuilding to the centerpiece of Moscow's latest efforts to seize and annex Ukrainian territory is expected to culminate in a referendum. Many already view the vote that could come as early as next month as a sham. The model of occupation deployed in Kherson has been used before in Crimea and in the eastern provinces wrenched from Ukraine over 8 years of hostilities. Rubles, loyalist passports, groceries, television, internet, and propaganda. Most recently, this has included road signs exhorting Ukrainians to believe they are one people with Russia. All the actions are about destroying Ukrainian identity. Around 100,000 people have remained in Kherson, which was previously home to about 300,000 residents. Early protests against the invaders have given way to a sullen silence on the streets, although the bombardments remind Ukrainians that they have not been forgotten by their countrymen. For most of the 100,000 or so people who have remained in Kherson, daily life has been reduced to a battle of attrition, adaptation, and, where possible, small acts of resistance. When cash machines ran out of Ukrainian currency, a black market emerged charging as much as 15% for government employees to convert their salaries, which are still being electronically deposited by Kyiv into cash in furtive street corner transactions. When Ukrainian phone networks were turned off, even the elderly learned to use VPN so they could watch the Ukrainian news. Residents have got used to deleting the Telegram channels they follow as well as photos and messages to ease their passage through the random checkpoints that have sprung up. Russia runs its occupation through allies in positions both powerful and mundane, according to several interviewees. Vladimir Saldo, the former Kherson mayor, now controls Russia's administration over a much wider region, while rubbish collection has been taken over by a local manager with loyalties to Moscow. For others, run-ins with Russians are more traumatic, especially at checkpoints or the so-called filtration camps, where those seeking to leave are extensively questioned, sometimes for days. Others have had Russian soldiers ransack their homes. Hundreds of people have vanished, according to residents, with the sudden disappearances marked by posters of the missing put up by their families. Ukrainian artillerymen prepare to go to the front line in Kherson. Residents who crave a return to their pre-war lives are worried about the mooted assault by Ukrainian forces to take back the city. Those who can have begun hoarding water and food in anticipation. Now that the Ukrainian forces have struck back with an aim to retake Kherson, Russia has begun using a makeshift ferry crossing to move military equipments across the Dnipro River to supply forces holding the occupied Ukrainian city of Kherson as Kyiv's forces press forward. The developments came at a time when Ukrainian forces have taken back some towns and villages that Russia had seized in the Kherson Oblast and ahead of what could be a major Ukrainian counteroffensive in the area, aimed in part to drive Moscow's forces out of the city of Kherson. The Kherson front line is about 200 kilometers long and had already been a challenge to supply.
That's all we have for now. Keep watching Hornbill TV.